Welcome to my garden. So today what I'm going to do is make a two-tier water feature. I'm using a large punch bowl, two terracotta pots, a lead crystal salad bowl, another terracotta pot, and on the very top what I look for is a little vase with a ruffled edge on top. That way the water will run over the edge and hopefully have a nice waterfall type of effect. So this was my dry run to see how it looked when it all stacked up, and it looked pretty good. So next step for me is to drill holes in the glass bowl. So I'm setting aside, first of all, the punch bowl because I'm not drilling a hole in that. And I'm going to drill a hole inside the salad bowl, the little parfait dish, and all three terracotta pots. That way the hose will smoothly go through all the layers. So I'm just measuring up the end of my hose here to make sure that it fits nicely into the end of the drill bit. I got a really good deal on Amazon on the diamond drill bit, so I will attach a link just for your convenience. I'm all about recycling and reusing product, and the punch bowl, salad bowl, and the little vase, I got all at garage sales, and I highly recommend buying secondhand or Goodwill or garage sales and reusing products as much as possible. Now I'm going to drill into the bottom of the lead crystal salad bowl. I wasn't sure how that would work because I've actually not drilled into lead crystal before. So what I did is just put a little bit of water on the top and then started my drill at an angle. That's to create a little groove, and then once I have a little groove, then I straighten the drill and go straight down. You just need to keep a consistent, steady pressure throughout, and eventually, with a little patience, it does make its way through. Now I'm going to drill into the bottom of this little vase. I add a little water. It works very well because there's a little dip there to hold it. And again, I just angle the drill slightly until I get a groove, and then straighten up and press straight down with a consistent pressure. And as always, drilling into these little terracotta pots is actually the hardest part of the whole thing. It's actually quite easy to drill into glass, which, I found really surprising. I haven't broken anything yet. So this little terracotta pot's giving me a little trouble. Eventually I get it, but just getting that initial little groove started wasn't the easiest thing. It was a little bit of fun, but I did get it. All I can say is have patience and keep trying. And keep trying. I did edit out part of the video here, but I just wanted to show you that the persistence does pay off, and no, you're not doing it wrong. Eventually it will work. Now I'm off to paint each of these items, bowls on the inside, outside of the terracotta pots. So overnight I got an idea, why not add another layer? So I went ahead and sprayed up another little vase, and I'm just adding it, stacking it to see if it'll work, and I think it will. Because it's the top layer, what I did is I used a little egg cup and I sprayed that, and another little vase with a slightly ruffled edge on top. And once again, here we are drilling into the little egg cup and the bottom of the vase. So this vase was made out of very thin glass. I was actually really afraid to drill into it. I wasn't sure if it would shatter just being such a thin and perhaps cheap glass, but it worked just fine. So nothing's broken for me yet. So now I need to measure how long the tubing is from the top to the bottom. So what I'm doing is just doing another dry run. I wanted to see also how that new top was going to work out as well. So here I am just stacking each layer, and then I'm going to just measure the tubing. Isn't that cute? I just love it. And to think it's all made out of recycled materials, you know, basically stuff people aren't using anymore, and then look at it now. It's just so cute. Better too long than too short, so I added a little length there, and we can always cut off more later. Now I'm going to add little grooves just so the water can move freely through to the pump on the bottom level. So I'm just going to sand little grooves in by using a pen and some sandpaper, and I'm just going to basically saw a little groove in. Well, it is crazy windy out. It's so windy my little lily pads blew over. Now on to assembly. Put your terracotta pot with the grooves in it on the bottom, housing your motor first. Then your next terracotta pot, and that's bottom to bottom. And then I just need to put some glue in there between the layers. So I'm using E6000 to glue the layers together, and then silicone in around the tubing. After I set my bowl on, I'm going to put some silicone around the tube. There I am using the appropriate silicone, it's clear. And just be really generous so you get a good seal. Now on to add the next layer, which is another terracotta pot upside down. And then I added the ruffled little vase. And now I'm just adding the glue to the different layers, and then I'll put silicone around the tubing again. And now I'm just going to add the little egg cup because I had decided to add another layer. And I just need to glue and silicone this layer as well. So I decided to let this level dry before I proceeded to add the top. So I had to just attach a little frog tape just to hold it in place while it was drying, and then I added the top layer. So I went ahead and added the top layer. Sorry, I forgot to record that. And I also painted up a little terracotta pot for a base. And then I ran into a problem. The tip of the fountain didn't fit into the other end of the hose. I don't understand how that happened. So I am using my very, very hot glue gun, high temperature glue gun, just to melt the end of the little rubber hose there so I can push a top into it. And then after a lot of frustration, I managed just to get the one very slim tip to fit in there. So I actually put the nozzle in upside down, and the other tops don't fit now, but at least there is a top in there. And then I'm going to proceed to add some rocks just to keep it centered. Otherwise it would lean to one side or the other, especially when the water got in there. So I'm just filling up the top with white pebbles. And now I just thought I would see how it looked all together. So I was going to move it on top of the pedestal, and then I discovered it was too heavy. So I took it apart, which I will leave it in these 3 parts. And I'm just trying it out. Then I'm going to put in the main part in there. I have, you can see here the glue is dry. And then I'll add water. And now I'm just moving the little cord for the solar pump underneath the little groove, just so it sits level. And now for the favorite part of the Finny project, it's trying it out at the end. So here I'm just adding some water to the different level, just to make sure that the pump doesn't run dry too soon. So it takes quite a bit of water. The wind was actually blowing against the fountain and the table that it was sitting on, making it just slightly unsteady. I guess I should have put it on the ground to start with. But I proceeded to fill it up. Now just to set up the solar pump, and we will watch it in action. A few minor adjustments with the rocks, but I love how it spills over the edge of the pretty little ruffled vases. Well, I really love the end result. What a sweet little fountain. I hope it inspires you to reuse materials to make a fountain of your own.